Good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion, first daf of Maseches Yevamos daf Beis. Let's dive right in. The Mishnah discusses the tour of not only for an erva but also for a sarah of an erva and sarah saying. If you listen to the regular daf yomi you should understand what sarah is and what a sarah saying is: a rival wife and the rival wife of a rival wife. Now, the Gemara is going to try to go into and explain over here. We know there's a concept in the Torah of essay docha los essay, that an essay, a mitzvah's essay, where we know that from, it's not so clear. The Ramban says an explanation, essay docha los essay. He says, because mitzvah's essay are an expression of avos Hashem, los essay is an expression of yiras Hashem, it's avos Hashem. If you look at Mesilas Yesharim, outweighs yiras Shemayim. So avos Hashem is greater than Yerushalm, so therefore it's docha that pushes away. But we know this concept. The Gemara says we'll see that essay ain't essay docha lo essay makom kares. That's the fundamental of this mission over here. Even though the mitzvah of Yevamos normally to marry your deceased brother's wife, there is no essay docha lo essay when there's kares, because who's your brother married to? Your daughter, or any of the 14 arayos mentioned in the Mishnah. So he can be married to her, but you can't marry to your daughter. You can't marry your daughter. So if you can't marry your daughter, you're stuck. So all these arayos have at least a penalty of kares over there, maybe even more, maybe chayav skila by some of them, or chenek, or different misas based in. So basically, there's makom kares. Now, how does that work over here? What are the fundamentals? Makom kares. And secondly, how does it work to pater the sarah? I mean, that needs an explanation. The Gemara will explain, but we're going to bring that when the Gemara explains. We're going to fit it into what I'm saying now. Somehow it pater the sarah also. The sarah is not an erva, and therefore, regarding the sarah, the rival wife, your brother's married to your daughter and another woman who's a stranger to you. She's a regular woman who's not no relation to you. So even though there's no mitzvah even and he dies, he has two wives. The daughter you can't marry, but you can't. You can marry the rival wife. Why not? There's no mitzvah of Yevamos over there. You should forget about. That's the Mishnah's chiddush. This Mishnah, the first Mishnah, that part of the sorrow also. There's no need for chalitza. No mitzvah of Yevamos, no mitzvah of chalitza. How does that work? And that's the lashon of poter. Poter. What's the lashon of poter? So you can clear this fundamental hakira. When we say makom kares, what does that mean? Does that mean it doesn't get started? Normally, essay is docha lo essay. So you do the mitzvah, it's docha lo essay. You have a bris milah on Shabbos, let's say, right? The bris milah on Shabbos, the mitzvah of milah is docha lo essay. Doing chabura on Shabbos, right? Even though chabura would be skila on Shabbos, but we'll see that it's not a psik reisha, so therefore it's not a chiv kares, chiv skila, chiv kares. Or makom saras. Let's say you have saras from makom milah. You're not allowed to remove a neged saras. So the bris milah, which takes off the arla and also takes off the saras, the essay the mitzvah of milah is docha lo essay. There's many examples of this in the Torah. Essay docha lo essay. So is the pshat in the docha lo essay makom kares? The pshat that doesn't get started. There's no mitzvah's essay. The Torah didn't command you in that case. The Torah never commanded you to marry, to do yibum when your daughter is the one falling for yibum to you. There's no mitzvah at all. Now, if that's the pshat, it would be a little difficult to understand how it paters the sarah. If the pshat is that it paters the sarah, so fine. Your brother has two wives, so it patered the daughter. Your daughter was married to your brother, but how does it pater the sarah? So therefore, I'd like to offer a second explanation. We'll have to fine-tune this second explanation, but obviously you'll see this is more correct than the first explanation. It must be that on some level, that when we say ein essay docha lo essay makom kares, the essay really does work to a certain extent. The essay is docha lo essay to a certain extent, maybe completely or partially, but you have the kares still there. That's the problem. You have the kares still there. So therefore, once the essay is docha lo essay, meaning there's still a mitzvah essay over here. It's not like the Torah said there's no mitzvah to do yevamos over here. Really, there's still a mitzvah to do yevamos over here. The Torah says practically can't do it makom kares. So, therefore, if I'm stuck. There's a mitzvah to do yibum over here with my daughter, but I can't do it makom kares, so I'm like stuck. There's a mitzvah, but I can't do it. So that's where the lashon of poter that it comes in. That we know the Chacham have the ability to be oker davar min Torah b'sheva al tase. The Torah said, the Chacham said, when they see fit, there's an ability of the Chacham to say, don't do something, just hold off on something, don't do something, even though you have a mitzvah to do it. You have a mitzvah, for example, they said this by lulav on Shabbos, for example, or shofar on Shabbos, not to blow the shofar when the first day of Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos, or Sukkot, the first day of Sukkot falls on Shabbos, you don't take a lulav, you don't do a blow shofar, even though it's a mitzvah d'oraisa, but because the gzera, you're going to take it to a bucket to learn how to blow shofar, to learn how to shake the lulav, they're concerned about the gzera, the Rabbanan, therefore say sheva al tas, the Rabbanan say, don't do the mitzvah essay over here. So it has to be that something is going on over here, that really there is a mitzvah essay, but practically you can't do it because of the kares. So therefore, sheva al taseh chama akru davar min Torah. They're okay the mitzvah min Torah. They're okay the mitzvah of that essay of Yevom over here, the mitzvah of Yevom. If that's the case, so therefore you can understand potros pater who pater the Rabbanan pater you. The Rabbanan pater you. Once the Rabbanan are patering you, so then the Rabbanan can extend it and say, since there's a connection between your daughter who's married to your brother and his second wife, which is not an Arva to you, so therefore, just like they patered your daughter is a rival wife, she's somehow connected to your brother's other wife, which is an Arva to you, your daughter, so therefore, they pater, just like they patered you from your daughter, they pater the mitzvah of Yibam also by the Sarah, also by the rival wife, and so to the Sarah saying. We'll get into this more in the coming dapim, specifically the Gemara will bring Makoros and sources for this. That is the start of the lumdus from Masechah Yevamos. It's tasty, it's yummy, right? It's juicy stuff, lumdish stuff, Seder Nashim. This is it. This is what they learn in yeshivas. So if you're just a beginner, a novice in the Talmud, this is where you have to get your feet wet into lumdus. Stick with me. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of Iyun, a lot of depth. And under 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 seconds. Bye.